Welcome to today's presentation. I just want to tell you a little bit about Sweet Harbor Treats. Sweet Harbor Treats is a passion of my wife's that we are turning into a business, and I would love to grow as much as we can. She makes cookies designed, customized for specific events, which we will demonstrate in the next couple slides. So the first slide here is the value proposition and key insights. The value proposition is they are themed cookies for special occasions that are made and decorated specifically for your event. You can't go to the store and buy personalized cookies. These cookies are specific for someone or something. The customer can pick the theme and the design they want for the event. The need filled is that these are very specific to this event. The business name that we chose was Sweet Harbor Treats. We're choosing to keep Harbor with the spelling as my wife is from Sydney and we lived there for 15 years. That's where she's from for her whole life. And so it's just a bit of a unique twist on Sweet Harbor Treats. Here's some more design and pictures. The MVP or minimum viable product is the design and the difference that she can bring to the event. As a result of interviews and research, we decided that these had to be specific to the event and the person. People said they would pay more for something that was customized. Market sizing and key insights. The area that we live in is the Twin Cities. So on the right, I've shown you where we specifically live in, which the Greater Twin Cities, which is 21 county region, according to the 2020 U.S. Census, is about 4 million people. However, on the left, the Greater Upper Midwest, which is consists of 12 U.S. states, is Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Michigan, Minnesota, Missouri, Nebraska, North Dakota, Ohio, South Dakota, and Wisconsin consists of about 69 million people. So that's the wider audience of who we would be marketing to and who we would be attracting the event eventually, who we would go out to try to get to buy Sweet Harbor Treats. Initially, we would start within the Twin Cities and then branch out from the 4 million to the 69 million. But that's just a idea of the segment size, of the size and key insights that we gained from that. Customer segments. The main customer segments are going to be events such as birthdays, weddings, graduations, sporting awards night, and religious events. All of these things require a themed cookie, such as the one for the MVP, and those themed cookies can be specific to those events. I think that's the beauty of the MVP and the events. Customer relationships, the get, keep, grow model. The get is will be done by word of mouth, Instagram, and by a new website. Once we are able to keep the customers, we have customers. The push is to send newsletters and monthly updates as to new cookies and new designs to our existing customers. And to grow, we would encourage our customers to purchase more cookies and provide discounts for the number of cookies purchased. In this stage, we will encourage our customers to spread the word to others about the cookie shop. By doing this, they will help us get more customers, which will keep and grow. We will encourage them by offering incentives of extra designs or a certain number of cookies free per order. Some of our distribution channels are wholesale, internet. The wholesale, we would like to find a chain of independent bakeries and wholesale to them. They can in turn resell to their customers. Internet, this way we can attract the independent consumer who is looking online, or we can direct people to the website for their own orders. It's important to have more than one channel in case one of them dries up or slows down for a specific season. Maybe there's not a big, graduation, you'd be very busy, but then graduation dies down, you might have a little bit of a lull, so it'd be great to have the consistent wholesale business. On the right-hand side, we provided some examples. Minnesota's largest coffee chain is Caribou Coffee, which, it'd be nice to get some sort of unique themed cookie into Caribou. Independent bakeries. So Sun Streets is a bakery that's independent here in the Twin Cities that we could talk to, and then a local or regional grocery store such as Lund's Byerly's. They're a kind of an upscale grocery store here in the Twin Cities that we could also attract and have sell some of the cookies at those stores. And those would be some main distribution channels. Key partners, strategic alliances, school districts, baking supply stores, independent movie theaters would be one as well. There's some risks and there's some rewards for each of those. Key resources, financial, we can cut the funds we have now and use the profit from cookie orders to build on the next order. There will be times where we need to finance some out of our own pocket, but we'll get to a point where we wouldn't have to do that. Physical, we would use our kitchen and baking equipment to make the cookies until a point comes where we're getting too many orders that it's just too much for our own kitchen. Intellectual is the creative side of how the cookies are designed and made, and any skill that is passed on to our children or people who assist with making and decorating the cookies. And the human capital is the baker, which is, I guess, the baker and the decorator, right? The capital is the knowledge that the team has that is making and decorating the cookies. Key activities, some of the key activities that will go into this would be baking and decorating. We kind of listed some more under here. Getting the ingredients, baking the cookies, cutting them into the shapes, gathering the cooking cutters, getting the fondant, the coloring, stamps, decorating. There's lots of activities that you don't think unless you sit down and number what you need to do step by step. Some of the costs. So some of the costs that we have listed, there's some variable ingredients. We did $7.84 for 10 cookies, which would be $7.78 a cookie. We've got 2 sticks of butter at $1.74, 2 cups of sugar for 96 cents, 2 eggs for 34 cents, 5 cups of flour for 80 cents, fondant $8. We use half, so it's $4. A stamp or a cutter for $7. There's bags and there's labor, which we factored in a little bit later, but roughly without the bags and the labor, you're looking at 78 cents for a cookie. So that's our costs. The revenue model that we have is if we sell a cookie for $4 a cookie, we're then making $3.22, not including labor and the bags. Based off 10 cookies and dividing the ingredients between 10 cookies to make 78 cents. That's how we figured the profit model. Profit continues to go up based on the number of cookies sold, and I think the number of cookies sold is based also off of how detailed you have to be for the cookies. Metrics that matter, the event, what's the event for, how many cookies do you think will have to be there, because the different events have different people. If it's a wedding, they'll have lots of people. If it's a birthday party, usually a smaller amount of people. That goes into the number. Metrics, again, is detail. How detailed do you have to be in the cookie? If there's a lot of detail, the cookie would be a little bit more. Repeat orders, that'd be a great metric to repeat because you want to have people that are going to come back to you. Insights from some of my interviewers. I was surprised that most of them thought $3.50 was a good price. We had come up with $4, so we were a little bit high with what they thought, but some people thought they'd pay $4.50 for a more designed cookie. Distribution channels, I thought the social media was okay, but I heard a lot that a website would be more appropriate. So we added a website to what we would do for a distribution channel as well. We always thought the market would be small and limited. Interviews say broaden your horizons through social media and a bigger market. The business environment, it's a niche industry with few competitors. To compete, the cookies need to be customized. There's a demand for events to have customized cookies. The SWOT analysis, the strengths is that it's a profit-making business People want customized cookies. The weakness is labor intensive, and we don't know if the cost will make them viable based off the sale price. Opportunities, everyone wants something specific. Everyone who's seen the cookies want them, and there are unlimited number of designs to be used. Threats, people not wanting to pay the price we have set out, and the advertising and marketing doesn't pan out to sales. So some of the pivots we had to make was the revenue. We just didn't. We thought we would charge more than what people expected. Some of the key activities, I just didn't think there was a lot of activities until I actually did it and realized how many activities there were. And channels, I had previously only thought of Instagram, and now we also need a website for this business. That is it. Thank you for your time.